A disability is something that has a major impact on your life.
Every disability is different.
And it's never the same thing for two people. I am blind in my right eye totally and partially sighted in my left eye.
I was 18 years old. We were traveling way too fast on a gravel road. Broke my neck, my back.
My Asperger's syndrome and my cerebral palsy.
I have anxiety and depression. People would have no idea just talking to me.
Being independent means different things to different people.
I want to live in my own house. I want to pay my own bills.
Live independently and not rely on other people.
When someone is not able to live as independently as they can, it does have a detrimental effect on people's physical and mental well-being.
It's no complicated thing. It's just that people with disabilities want to be included.
Plenty of people get stuck in ruts when they feel like they can't overcome something in their life. That's where Lyft comes in.
Living independently for today and tomorrow. Lyft. We help people of all ages and all types of disabilities find the resources or acquire the skills to live as independently as possible.
We serve the southeastern 18 counties here at the Billings office. We have a variety of things that we offer. We can help with grant funding for adaptive equipment.
Maybe a home modification so they're able to access their home. We help people to find that funding.
Helping people apply for Social Security benefits.
Medicaid, Medicare, housing.
They have a peer support group. Peer support, I think, is key.
Sharing life experiences is one of the most powerful things to help people who might be new to disability, who might be struggling with their disability.
Youth transitions is kids that are transitioning out of high school. They need to learn those adulting skills. It might be rent an apartment, learn how to grocery shop, budgeting.
Help someone advocate for themselves in a school or an employment setting. One of our biggest strengths is providing folks with information and referral. If we can't help you, we hope to know who can.
A lot of times we'll have a potential consumer call in and they think that they just have one need, and it turns out that we end up finding 3 or 4 things we can actually do for them.
You can just come in and say, hey, I feel like I have this going on. Can you help me? And we can, which is so cool to me. I love that.
Most of us on staff at Lyft have identified ourselves as having one or more disabilities. That is helpful in many cases.
It's easier to empathize with someone when you yourself have struggled with a disability.
This is what we specialize in. This is who we are, and this is what we do.
And it costs nothing to go to Lyft. It's a nonprofit organization and they're there to help.
Somebody that was a consumer that was working with Lyft was asked to do an art project. He visualized that the balloon helps to lift people up. And then it became the logo, and it's stuck.
There's been success on all kinds of levels.
It's really rewarding to have a consumer go, hey, I was able to do this by myself today.
We want people to live their best life as independent as possible.
Live as everyone else in society and live as a part of society, not apart from society.
Everybody needs help. Sometimes you just need a little more help, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay.
There's plenty of life to live still, and there's a way you can do it. Keep chipping away at it, little by little by little.
Knowledge is power. Let's share it, for crying out loud.
Send us an email, give us a call. We'll do our best to help.
We can definitely help figure out what your needs are and get started on that. We're one of many steps in the path to independence, and we're happy to be serving people here in the community.
Hello and welcome to Living Well in Montana. Living Well in Montana is a program ran by LIFT, which stands for Living Independently for Today and Tomorrow. LIFT is an organization, a nonprofit that services people in 18 counties that have disabilities. And by disabilities, I mean anything that impacts their life, whether that be mental, physical, or a whole plethora of issues. So today we have, I'm Anya, and I am talking with Eileen, who also works at LIFT as nutritional health coaches. And we wanted to talk a little bit about an October event that Eileen is holding that showcases dementia. So I would love, Eileen, for you to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about this documentary that you're hosting.
Sure. So, as you said, my name is Eileen. I'm a nutritional health coach with LIFT. And I've also been certified through Dr. Bredesen. The documentary highlights the work of Dr. Dale Bredesen, who has done research on what actually causes brain cells to stop connecting and die.
Wow.
So amazingly, he has people that are trained in his program. Because of my experience with my dad, I am trained in his protocol. So,
Wow, that's amazing. Is
Yeah.
that why you're pretty passionate about a dementia education? Is because of your dad, or?
Yes, good question. So really that was what spurred me on. I never dreamed that my dad would go downhill. He was a farmer. He fought fires in the summer. He loved to plant habitat around the community, and I live outside of Billings. So he was very active, very much a member of society, and to see him start being concerned about his memory was kind of shocking. And then to actually start seeing that happen, what the biggest time was when I realized, oh, my dad's fears are coming true, because he started talking about his concerns.
Right.
And we were camping one time, and we were out by the campfire enjoying the heat of the campfire, and we actually came back into the camper for lunch, and my dad started asking about where are those other people, and I thought, what other people? There were no other people in the campground. So it was very shocking. And even later that day, he started asking about my brother, where he was. My brother hadn't been camping with us for years, so just to see that decline and realizing that my dad his fears were coming true was quite shocking. And sadly, there's not a lot that the medical community has in their backpack or their toolkit to help people. So I really just started digging. I went to the library, I started getting piles of books and reading, seeing, is there something that I can do to help my dad? And one of the books that really stood out was Dr. Bredesen's. It's called The End of Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow.
And I was surprised because all of them just had bits and pieces of how you can deal with the situation at hand, and not, hey, there are actually things that you can do to help.
Right.
So, and I love, at the introduction of his book, he talks about patient zero, and this patient zero was just like my dad. She knew that she was declining. She had a very high-paying government job, so her identity couldn't be revealed, but she was so desperate. She was even planning on committing suicide if she continued down this road. And she heard about Dr. Bredesen's program and reached out to him and said, you know, I can't wait, I need this now. And he explained the program to her. And he says when she left, he thought he might never see her again. And about 3 months later, sorry, it makes me
Emotional.
Yeah, she called him and said, my brain is back, my brain is back. And so that really encouraged him to do a clinical trial, which he had been denied several times because there's so many pieces to his protocol. They're not just testing one thing, so the trial companies are not interested in a trial like that. So he did his own trial with just 25 people, put them on the same program that patient zero was on. And it's not 100%. There are still things that need to be done and researched, but 85% of them significantly improved. And 1 stayed the same, and I think 3 others continued to decline. So it's,
But still, that 85%, I could see, it sounds like dementia is one of those things that it's easy to lose hope. It's hard to live with, and sometimes it's just an acceptance. And so would you say, you know, it's still worth the trial?
oh, absolutely. Yes, even because my dad was in fairly advanced stages when I read this, and I wasn't a health coach at the time, and so I had all this training. So it felt like we were in the middle of this and trying to just figure it out as we saw my dad decline. So
Right.
even that little hope of thinking, there are things we can do, and even just little changes we made to his diet. If you're around Alzheimer's people, they really kind of check out and they fall asleep very easily. And just little things that we did made quite a difference.
Right.
So it's very encouraging to see that just lifestyle changes can make quite a difference.
And I'm sure that education can make a huge difference in people's lives of, let's do something now to prevent this, and
Exactly.
to, you know, if it is a diagnosis already, here's what you got. So does LIFT consider dementia as a disability to serve?
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of times, as somebody declines with their memory, you find yourself, like in my case with my family, we suddenly became a caregiver. My dad couldn't take care of himself. So
Right.
yes, it's definitely considered a disability, and something that even people that are wanting to prevent it, that is the best time to start. They find that actually damage to our brain is done 20 to 30 years before. So it's so important to start
Wow.
learning about this now and protecting our brain,
Right.
so that we don't have to go through what my dad did and what
Yeah.
my family did. So,
And yeah, and you mentioned that, you know, you guys became the caregivers for your dad in that instance.
Right.
Do you want to mention our PCA program, our personal care
Oh.
assistant program, and how that could serve people of that demographic?
Sure. So there is a program that lets people, especially family members, which is neat, that if you find yourself in that caregiver position, that you can actually be paid through the PCA program to take care of somebody in this kind of a situation.
Yeah, so that's through LIFT and Medicaid, which is a huge thing for our consumers that are battling all of these different diagnoses. And that being said, you know, you don't have to have a diagnosis to qualify
Right.
for LIFT services. So it's even if you want to be educated on dementia. I'm excited to learn from you and what you know about dementia. But yeah, learning more and watching out for your friends and family too is a huge thing. So what
Right.
do you see for like dementia education in the future?
Right.
At
Good
LIFT.
question. Yes, because really this is to give hope. The documentary really highlights what people did, and they've kind of learned about it by word of mouth, and were really thought in the same situation that we were of, this is worth trying. So there's a lot of lifestyle changes that can take place, and in LIFT we have the facility to be able to offer classes. I've even offered 8-week classes that are very doable, just to let people know there are different lifestyle changes, and in that process of laying it out very slowly, encouraging people to make those changes as they're learning.
Right.
So it's a fun dynamic to have people that are in the similar situations be able to support each other.
Yeah.
And encourage each other. Hey, give each other ideas. You know, I've started doing this, or I can do this, and see if they're noticing any differences. So,
And it can hold people accountable too. Like,
absolutely.
she's going to remember if I didn't do my homework.
Exactly.
But I think the cool thing too, obviously, you know, following these group classes, these workshops, all of the stuff that we have planned, how would you say we could tailor this to a one-on-one approach?
Right, excellent question. Yes, so of course everybody has their individual needs, and actually with the protocol, it's best to work with a doctor, and there are trained physicians
Right.
that know Dr. Bredesen's protocol. So I've recently been working with somebody that has a doctor on board, and I'm really more the support and saying, how is it going? We've talked about nutrition. What does that look like?
Right.
We also talk about exercise. So are you getting a little more exercise and brainstorming those ideas?
Right.
And this person also, stress is an issue. It's amazing how stress is very
Huge.
Yeah, it's bad for our brain. Sadly, sleep apnea or sleep issues, which when you talk to people, that can be a big problem. And as we all know, when we don't get a good night's sleep, we can tell our brain is not working well. So that is so important also.
Right.
So there's little decisions that we make throughout every day that can either support our brain health or damage our brain health.
Right.
And as a health coach, individually, those people might know, oh, if as we start discussing these things, they might start realizing, maybe I should be working on my sleep, or they can identify their own individual things that might be tripping them up.
Right. And
So-
are you you are really helpful in guiding people towards like little changes they could make, and so that way, you know, they're able to make those big changes over long term. So it's
Right.
I feel like it's awesome hearing about, you know, your dementia education and how people can increase the quality of their life just with those like small changes. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really think a big part of it is when we were going through this, it feels very lonely. When you start seeing that decline, you think, my instinct was to go and search. Where can we get support for this? And I mean, it just wasn't really out there. And I would like to be that support for people.
Right.
Coming from a spot that I understand it is not an easy protocol to follow. People can get the book, some do-it-yourselfers can look at it and say, I can do this. Their
Right.
patient zero was so motivated and said,
Wow.
I'm going to do this.
Fix
I'm
this.
not going to go down that road.
Right.
But there's other people that, in my mom's case, for example, she found herself trying to care for my dad and trying to make those decisions and those changes, and of course, needing to make decisions for herself and for my dad. And it, sadly, sometimes I would think, oh, how could she let him do that? And then I would give her a break and think, oh my, I'm doing the same thing, because
Oh.
it's really hard to be a caregiver
It can be.
and incorporate those things for someone else. So,
And that could be very mentally draining. It can be hard
Yeah.
for people to become a caregiver for someone like that.
Right.
Yeah. So do you feel like that's a big thing about these classes is getting that support?
Right, yes. And again, a lot of times it's family members, so you start realizing, oh, if it's my dad, it could be me next. So
Right.
just being aware that, hey, as I'm helping him, I can also help myself.
Yeah.
so-
And that's awesome that you're doing that now and you're putting in the hard work now, so that way you can keep up that consistency throughout your life, so you're more likely to not be
Right.
have dementia. That's amazing.
Yes, because Dr. Bredesen says a lot that really we should be the last generation that fears dementia. Dementia is something that most people will say that they just really, it's something that there's not we don't hear about the hope that there is.
Right.
And that's why I'm so motivated to fill the Babcock Theater on October 6th, just to get people to hear and see that,
Yeah.
oh, there can be another story to
Right.
this, that there is hope.
Yeah, and it can be really hard, you know, hearing the stories on the documentary of like, oh wow, these people were in the trenches and they needed some good help. So
Right.
it's awesome that you're providing that hope for people.
Yes, and I, as a Bredesen trained coach, We have monthly coaching sessions.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that one of the coaches that participated in one of my last meetings is somebody from the documentary.
Oh, wow.
So she was declining. She even has a, she's on Dr. Bredesen's website, and
Yeah.
she says, you know, I was going downhill. She's a trained nurse, and she could see the signs. And now she's a trained health coach, and
Wow.
she's helping others
To-
to have that hope also,
Oh, that's
which is, it's really fun.
So tell me more about this protocol. Does it have, what aspects make it important, or what does it
Right.
teach?
Good question. So, as I was saying, that nutrition, they call it the Bredesen 7. So there's really 7 things that can really be beneficial. But alone, they're really not enough. It has to be the synergistic approach. So nutrition is very important. Exercise is essential too. Actually, they say the best thing for our brain is exercise.
I believe it.
But yeah, on its own, sadly, it's not enough. So, and as I was saying, sleep is essential. Stress management. I love to hear Dr. Amen, who's also a neurologist that a lot of people have heard of. He does brain scans, and he can see the activity in people's brains. And he had a lady that he said she was doing some research, and they agreed that they would scan her brains on different days and just do a little experiment. And on the first day, he said, I want you to be as grateful as think of all the things that you're grateful for. So she was scanned, and her brain looked beautiful that day. The activity was great. 24 hours later, he said, now I want you to think of something that you're really angry about, and just really focus on that while I'm scanning you. And not surprisingly, or to me, when I first heard it, I was very surprised.
Yeah.
He said it didn't look like the same brain.
Wow.
That her brain had changed that much.
Yeah.
It was the same person.
Wow.
Just in 24 hours. So
Yeah.
stress can really trigger, and especially if we remain stressed and kind of focus on the negative and the stressful things, it can put us on the wrong trajectory.
Right.
So,
And I know you were telling me previously about your Tai Chi class. That's every week, Tuesdays at 9 a.m. So do you feel like Tai Chi really helps with sleep and with dementia care?
yes, absolutely. So that's why I became trained, because I thought, ooh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So they say a lot of times people start exploring Tai Chi because of sleep issues.
Right.
So it really has that calming effect. But also it's that stress management.
Right.
There's centers of our brain that can be activated really easily, and we want to make sure that we calm that down and give our brain that chance to just heal and be relaxed.
Yes.
So.
Oh, that's amazing that at Lift we are providing a lot of healing modalities and offering these ways to feel included,
Right.
get educated. all
Yes,
of the above.
yeah. And
Yeah.
amazingly, one of the things that people are really unaware of, I think on a superficial level, that we really live in quite a toxic environment. So even lotions that we put on our body, shampoos, all these things can have ingredients in them that can affect our brain health.
Wow, that's amazing.
So just knowing how to check which ones are safer, and everything that we put on our skin is absorbed into our system,
Yeah.
and it can go to our brain and have a negative impact. So
Amazing.
I love the idea of being brain warriors, that we kind of are at a war against our brain being attacked.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that we can do to arm ourselves and be equipped to protect our brains.
Oh, that's
So.
amazing. Well, thank you so much, Eileen, for chatting about the documentary you have
You're
in
welcome.
October. Thank you for, and Babcock Theater for showcasing that documentary to give people hope, to educate the community and help their family and friends.
Yes.
So
I
thank
hope
you.
to see you there.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for watching into our Living Well in Montana.
How is a computer like a grandparent? The first thing that goes on both is their memory.
Well, dementia is a global issue. It's something that societies are facing. And if we don't have a way to stop the progression, that number will nearly triple by mid-century.
To take care of all these people is going to bankrupt the healthcare system.
They told me I only had 20% of what my memory should be.
The pain of knowing you're losing your mind.
I don't know how much time I have.
No cure. Nothing can be done. Not really acceptable to us.
For the first time in 2 decades, the FDA has approved an Alzheimer's drug.
Some neurologists are hailing the new drug, but many experts aren't. The FDA Advisory Committee voted against it.
I don't think we've ever seen a failure in scientific research on this massive a scale.
How many people here would like to avoid dementia? The idea was there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing could be further from the truth.
We're targeting many factors that all contribute to this illness. These are things that you can fix.
The research that he's doing now, it's not research, he sells it.
The response has been to ignore it, to deny it.
He writes a best-selling book. This is not how it's done.
People are dying when they do not have to.
People finally realized they could fight for their memories.
I mean, what's the harm? All these things that these people are doing, I can do that.
When you have nothing, you have to start somewhere.
I just started recognizing people.
I could remember phone numbers again.
It's pretty crazy how much she's improved.
You don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your loved ones.
I need you to know that dementia is not a death sentence. There's so many things that we can do to stop it.
It really does work.
Our generation will be the last generation to fear Alzheimer's disease.
Memories for life. Reversing Alzheimer's.